What is your American dream?
My American dream is for everyone to have access to safety and stability and security.
Everyone has a right to the American dream. Welcome, everybody. It is Wednesday, Hump Day. Welcome to Brad Show Live. My name is Brad. With me is the man who puts the yo in yo-yo.
That is
the
me.
Man who puts the love in doctor. The man who puts the thin in Jan. Jonathan Yo-Yo Elias. What's up?
How you doing?
How are you?
I'm good. How you doing?
Pretty good.
Nice.
Pretty good. Pretty good, I'm
All right.
doing.
Nice.
How are you doing?
I'm cool.
Cool.
Yeah, I'm cool.
How cool?
Pretty cool.
Pretty cool. Pretty
Pretty
cool.
cool.
You know, you can't say pretty twice.
Pretty cool.
Pretty cool. All right, let's see what's going on with the squad.
Yeah, let's do it.
Latoya, his Forever Peterson. Also, pretty cool.
Yeah.
She's a cool woman. Maureen McFarland, squad up. Denisha Joseph, happy Hump Day. Marge Higson, hey. Latoya, his Forever, squad up. I said you twice, Latoya, today. Good for you. Dip Fab, Cake Affairs, how are you? Straight from the bakery. Earth Angel. I always think of somebody like singing a love song.
Right.
Right, when I see her name, Earth Angel. Willie L. Williams. Oh, Jonathan. Willie missed the opening segment. He'd like to go back and rewind.
So
he just joined us. So far, Willie, nothing's happened. Don't worry,
Yeah,
okay?
you're good.
He came on late yesterday. He's like,
Yeah.
what'd I miss? Carol Anderson, the Tigers, squad up. Jill Delph saying, squad up. How are you? Kat Misa is watching. How are you, Kat Misa? And Abadoon Jamo. Squad up. Let's see what's going on YouTube. Jamie Barra, first one. You are, Jamie. Congratulations. We're not keeping track, but this could be Jamie's first time being number one.
Yeah.
Although we never keep track.
No, yeah.
There's no record of who was first ever. But
Right.
congratulations to you, Jamie, for being number one today, first time. Daryl Winnebot, squad up. How are you? Shan Smith, Susie, Kill Earth Angel. Double fisting.
There we go.
There you go. I knew I liked Earth Angel for a reason. Fruit VR, squad up. Unique Forsyth, how are you? Jean Love, what's going on? Dembasau, Cass saying hi, Brad, and Cass with a pre-schmooze Hump Day question. You ready for it?
What is it?
So I filed the I-45 in 2019, and then in 2020 I got an interview and they approved my I-130, but they said do the waiver for that fraud they denied in 2021. And I just got the denial notice in 2022, but my daughter, she got the green card in May of 2020. I need help and advice. I have 2 children here, and my daughter migrated from Jamaica. My husband is a U.S. citizen. Well, yeah, you need to do a better waiver for whatever the fraud may have been. You got denied for the fraud. You have to prove extreme and unusual hardship to your children who are residents as well as to your husband. Actually, you can't even use the hardship to your children, but it kind of gets into the fact that if you don't get your green card, then your husband has to take care of your children. That's added hardship to him. You got to go extreme and unusual hardship. I don't know what you put in your waiver. You need a consultation so we can add. All right, we take what you did, we add. There's probably stuff you left off. Here's my answer.
There you go.
Take it away, Yo-Yo.
All right, squad, you already know what time it is. It's time for you guys all to share because we're going to start schmoozing with Brad, talking headlines, including a new report that the U.S. Immigration Court backlog reached nearly 1.6 million cases last year.
By the way, PSA.
What's up?
Sergio L. on YouTube has a question.
Okay.
And it's not to me, it's to the squad.
Oh, what is it?
He's asking the squad. Who doesn't love hearing good immigration news come out of the mouth of the squad? All right? Let's hear your good immigration news, squad.
Yeah.
Let's hear what's going on. You got some good news to share with us?
Let us know.
Let us know.
We always love to hear the good news.
That's right.
Yes.
All right? That's our little PSA from Sergio today.
Nice. Thank you, Sergio.
All right, continue, Yo-Yo.
All right, yes. So like I said, he's going to fill us in on latest headlines, including a new report that the U.S. Immigration Court backlog reached nearly 1.6 million cases.
Oh, PSA again. I apologize. I am sorry, Yo-Yo. Jessica Kalimi showed up late. We've got to start all over again.
Jessica Kalimi.
She
did not show up late.
She just showed up late. She can't even believe it.
She couldn't have.
Yeah, she did. She can't even believe it.
What?
That's what she's writing. She can't believe it. All right, this is what's happened so far. Okay. I introduced Jonathan. Jonathan said he's cool. I said my day was pretty good. And we're saying hello to the squad.
Yes.
Continue, Yo-Yo. I just want to make sure Jessica Kalimi didn't miss anything.
All right. And that the president of the National Association of Immigration Judges is backing the creation of an independent immigration court. And guys, yes, it is Wednesday, so you already know. I need y'all to hang on to your seats because it is down. We're about to be talking about some Hump Day stories, including a Playboy model who claims she's too beautiful for love.
Can't be.
I feel the same way.
Can't be.
I feel the same way.
By the way, Denisha Joseph is late as well. Welcome, Denisha. I can't go back again, and you're just going to have to rewind this time.
The amazing thing is that it stays online forever.
That is right. And by the way, here's another PSA, Yo-Yo.
What's up?
The tiger.
Uh-huh.
You know who the tiger is, right?
Carol Anderson.
Yeah, she loves your shirt.
Oh, thank you.
The tiger loves Yo-Yo's shirt.
Thank you.
Loves the shirt. All right. And by the way, we're going to be answering your immigration questions in about 20 minutes after we schmooze and do our Hump Day news. You call us right now at 1-800-529-5465. Why do I have this pen in my hand? Like, I don't write during the show, ever. Why? I don't know why I was left a pen today.
You might use it today.
They left me a pen. I don't know why.
You might need it.
Yeah, here. Take my pen. I'm going to play with it all day. I'll be like fiddling it in my hand. You can call 1-800-529-5465. That's the number to call to get on our show. Ask me your legal questions. It's also the telephone number to call our sponsor, in which I am the president, Spar and Bernstein. The same telephone number, 1-800-529-5465 internationally, outside of North America. If you dial the 1-800 number and it doesn't work, you can always dial our international number, which is +1 212-227-8933. Invariably, Yo-Yo, somebody always comes on in the comments at some point. How do I call? Squad, I need you to take care of this for me. Anybody asks during the show, how do I call? Everybody just jump in one big unison. The number's scrolling at the bottom of the screen for 2 straight hours.
Yeah.
All right, so help me out there, squad. And later in the show, I will be speaking with Alejandra Juarez and her husband, Temo. Now, Alejandra, she was deported to Mexico in 2018 under Donald Trump's zero-tolerance policy, despite being married to a United States Marine, having 2 U.S. citizen children, and no criminal record. Alejandra returned to America in May of 2021 after being granted humanitarian parole. We're going to speak with her about her case, her deportation, and her next steps in what has been a harrowing immigration journey for herself and her children and her husband. Mm-hmm. You ready to rock and roll?
Let's do it.
Let's do
schmooze.
it. Let's schmooze. Ready to rock.
Yeah.
Oh, ready to rock. Look at all this. How can I rock? The news is too heavy for me. Maybe I'll rock over in my chair. The cards are too heavy. So the Syracuse University's Transactional Record Access Clearinghouse, they've been around forever, since I was a young lawyer. I remember them from the early 90s. They would always give statistics on what's going on in the immigration courts.
Okay.
Well, they've come out with their statistics for the immigration courts. Those are not immigration service. This is just immigration courts when you're in deportation and you have to go see a judge. Take a guess how many cases are in the immigration courts right now. They have reached a record number of cases in the immigration courts.
I said it.
You know what it is?
I said nearly 1.6 million.
1.6 million.
I said it in the beginning.
Oh, you are paying attention.
I'm paying attention.
You're paying attention to what you're saying.
Yeah.
1.6 million people
Wow.
backlogged in the immigration
That's
courts,
a lot.
which is why we get our calls every day.
Mm-hmm.
I filed my adjustment. I have I'm all approved. I need to get my green card. What do I do?
Right.
And I say, well, you recalendar it with the judge, but I haven't heard anything. Give your best story to the judge. The judge, all these judges, they have on their dockets tens and tens of thousands of cases, each judge.
Right.
Each judge. Do you know what 1.6 million people equals?
Wow.
The city of Philadelphia. It's like the entire city of Philadelphia is backlogged at the immigration courts.
It's a lot.
Every human being who lives in Philadelphia, that's the equivalent of every human being who lives in Philadelphia, backlogged at the immigration courts. So Mimi Saknov, the president of the National Association of Immigration Judges, said that the immigration courts, this is for the Association of Immigration Judges, she represents the group that represents all of the immigration judges. There's such a group. They want to be independent. Independent from the President of the United States of America and the U.S. Justice Department, the Attorney General. The immigration court backlog can only be fixed by removing the immigration courts from the U.S. Department of Justice and creating an independent immigration court. She added the Department of Justice, in which the immigration courts live, has prioritized law enforcement functions over immigration courts. The result is bad management. The result is under budgeting. The result is a gigantic and growing case backlog. Not only that, but when you don't have an independent judiciary, guess what happens? It becomes political. So, for example, because the courts are under the Department of Justice, the Department of Justice is run by the U.S. Attorney. The U.S. Attorney is appointed by the President of the United States of America. Guess what happens every 4 years? All of the policies of the judges change. They have no independence. It's completely political. You get a president like Biden, guess what? There's now prosecutorial discretion. We're not going to deport people who really don't deserve to be deported, even though they may not be any relief from deportation. You get a president like Pumpkin. He was deporting everyone. He could care less.
Right.
I mean, even Alejandra Juarez, who we're going to be speaking to later in our show, who was married to a Marine, who this Marine protected the United States, went to war for the United States of America, never committed a criminal offense, had an immigration offense, but not a criminal offense. She didn't rob a bank. She wasn't selling drugs. Lived here for a majority of her life. 2 U.S. citizen children. Trump could care less. He deported her. The reason she's back is because Biden gave her humanitarian parole.
Right.
So all of this is political. And until the judges become independent, just like our federal and state judges are independent, mostly of politics. Some state judges get elected. So there is some political component in certain races for state judges and certain races for, like, your local, village judge. But certainly in federal court, judges are appointed by the president and then can never be swayed again. Unless they're going to be impeached for committing a crime, whatever the president feels a judge should rule, they could care less because the president has no sway over them. federal judges is an independent judiciary. Makes America great. We don't have an independent judiciary in immigration. The independent judiciary it doesn't exist. It does not exist. Now tomorrow at 2:00, a House committee on the Judiciary Subcommittee on Immigration and Citizenship is going to hold a hearing titled "For the Rule of Law in Independent Immigration Court," and Mimi Saknov, who I just quoted, is going to be the witness who's testifying. From October to December, more than 140,000 cases backlogged. That doesn't mean that 140,000 people were put in removal. More than 140,000 people were put in removal. What that means is that they got 140,000 more cases than they disposed of. How? And by the way, where would justice be here anyway? If you have a judge who's responsible for pushing through tens and tens and tens, one judge, one courtroom, tens and tens and tens and tens and tens of thousands of removal cases a year. Where is any thought process by that judge? Where is any sympathy or empathy by that judge for what anybody is going through?
Right.
Where does a judge actually have any ability to make a thorough, fair, and thoughtful decision? They can't. It is impossible. Makes the whole immigration system quite what's the word I'm looking for? Quite unfair.
Oh yes, for sure.
I was going to use a stronger word, but since I have to go sometimes
faulty.
But because we have to go sometimes before the judge, I don't want
Right.
any judge watching being like, I saw your boss say something about
right.
me.
We're friends, guys.
Yes. Well, it's not even impersonal, but it's just you couldn't possibly make a thoughtful decision where you sit down and you say, what's the right thing here? All right, and you know what happens as a result? Too many mistakes.
Yeah.
Too many mistakes. Too many people who get deported who shouldn't. Too many people who should be deported who get to stay. It's not a thoughtful process. And today, the National Task Force to End Sexual and Domestic Violence, international human rights and children's rights advocates Angelina Jolie, and the U.S. Senate sponsors of the upcoming VAWA reauthorization, the Violence Against Women's Act, held a policy day of action. So Angelina Jolie did this with senators to get VAWA passed again. VAWA, Violence Against Women's Act, has to be reauthorized every several years. We're now back to the reauthorization process of VAWA. Now, VAWA is a lot more than what we talk about here in our show. When we talk about VAWA in our show, we're talking about specific abuse cases, physical abuse, extreme emotional abuse against people who don't have green cards, so that they are able to file for their green cards, do not have to stay in a violent relationship just to get a green card, that they have an option to leave that violent relationship and still not be scared of getting deported or being scared that they would not be able to get immigration benefits. It's a beautiful, beautiful law, VAWA. Now, but it's a lot more than that. VAWA is the actual central way the federal government responds to domestic violence, sexual assault, dating violence, and stalking. It was first signed into law in 1994, and it creates a grant program to provide services and housing to victims and survivors, and training to improve the legal response to gender-based violence. Now, the Violence Against Women's Act Reauthorization Act of 2022, well, that's a mouthful, is based on extensive work with survivors, direct service providers, and other stakeholders, and is the first reauthorization since the pandemic, which has exacerbated domestic violence and sexual assault. People are stuck home, quarantining, without jobs, working from home. There's a lot more pressure in the household, causes a lot more domestic violence. Now, Angelina Jolie posted on her Instagram page that since VAWA was passed in 1994, the rate of domestic violence in the United States has decreased by 63%, and spousal homicides have decreased by 50%. It's a bipartisan bill. It strengthens protections for survivors, invests in abuse prevention and in families and communities, and it will also reauthorize VAWA for immigration so that people who are applying for green cards based on abuse, whether you're a woman or a man, whatever your sexual identity may be, if you are in a marital relationship to a resident or a U.S. citizen, and you are the victim of physical abuse or the victim of extreme emotional abuse, there are options other than having to say, I won't get an immigration benefit. And there are options to saying, I have to stay in this abusive relationship just to get an immigration benefit. The option is you file a VAWA and you get the heck out of that home.
Yeah.
At 12:15 today, a virtual rally was held with VAWA lead senators and Angelina Jolie. Let's listen to a clip of what Angelina Jolie had to say.
So we now have the opportunity to pass an act that does a better job of protecting victims of abuse, that requires judges to have training on the trauma effects of domestic violence and to apply legal standards that prioritize children's safety, that funds technology and training to detect bruising across all skin tones, to address racial bias in forensic evidence collection, and that restores tribal jurisdiction to over non-native perpetrators of violence.
At 1 o'clock Eastern Standard Time today, there was a Twitter storm. The hashtag that they asked people to use to encourage the reauthorization of VAWA, hashtag VAWA and hashtag VAWA for all, has started a Twitter storm. They're also encouraging anyone, everyone, before, during, and after the rally to call their U.S. senators at 202-224-3121 and encourage them to join and pass the reauthorization of VAWA. And while all of that was happening, President Biden held his formal news conference, only his second one since he was president.
Sheesh.
Yeah, he doesn't make too many of them.
He doesn't.
Nope, he does not.
I wonder why.
Probably because, he's busy and he's not very good at news conferences, and he's probably up there in age, and probably it's hard for him to, in all honesty, to stand there and do news conferences every week.
I feel like this would have been Trump's 40th.
Yeah. Well, Trump, if you remember, Trump was doing a bunch of news conferences until and then he was loving the news conferences during COVID when we were having the lockdown, and people were loving it until he came out and he said we should all drink bleach,
right,
and put some light in our veins, and they've had some good luck with bleach and light in your veins to kill COVID. And after that, his advisor says, get pumpkin, stay in your lane, stay in your lane, pumpkin. And no more news conferences for you either. Now, Biden has detailed his administration's effort to fight inflation. That's his biggest undoing right now. His biggest undoing is that COVID is ongoing. They have really not made a dent, the Biden administration, in getting the United States back to some normalcy with this pandemic. Inflation is going through the roof at this moment. And as a result of those two things, Biden is having very low approval ratings. When asked at this news conference about schools closing around the country during the latest COVID wave driven by the Omicron variant, Biden said, well, very few schools are actually closing. Biden did list off a number of items that his administration has done to try to make sure schools are safe. He said his administration was able to provide the funding through the Recovery Act, including making new ventilation systems available. It's all blah, 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 blah. It's how people feel.
Yeah.
And right now, people feel that COVID is not ending and prices are going up and inflation is going up, and it has nothing to do with he put ventilators in a school or not. It has to do with people's inner feelings of what's going on.
Right.
And until he's able to make people feel more comfortable, feel that we are going in the right direction, whether we are or not, it's the feeling of the general population that we're not, Biden is underwater as a result.
Yeah.
He made a lot of He made a lot of promises in regards to immigration. Not a lot has happened with immigration. He promised to have a more humane immigration system. He did do some things, such as try to restore DACA, but other things that he didn't do. He did not get any, to this point, any sort of immigration amnesty or immigration reform passed as he promised. And he has continued to deny people entry because of COVID. He has continued to try to reduce asylum seekers coming from South America. The migrant protection protocols are still in place. He has deported lots and lots of people. So as a result, I mean, he's done some good things.
Right.
But overall, we got a backlog that we just talked about of 1.6 million people in immigration court. Overall, I can't be jumping up and down for joy about Biden. It's much better than the pumpkin for sure.
Oh, absolutely.
I mean, you know, but anything would have been better than pumpkin. You know, if we had a 2x4 piece of wood sitting in the Oval Office, dead tree would have been better than the pumpkin.
Yeah, I try to look at like the positives.
Right. I mean, so anything is better than pumpkin. But has Biden delivered on his promises? No, not yet. Not yet.
Not yet.
Not yet. And Eric Trump, that's the dumb brother.
Yes.
And Kimberly Guilfoyle, I'm not pronouncing her name right. That's the new wife of the smarter brother. Both of their cell phone records have been subpoenaed by the Congress, by the January 6th Commission that's investigating the sedition charges and the potential overthrow of the U.S. government and the violence that occurred on January 6th with President Trump trying to prevent a vote of the Electoral College. They want to know what the dumb brother was doing, who he was texting, and they want to know what the wife of the smarter brother, he's not that smart, but compared to the dumber one, was who she was texting.
Yeah.
So both of those subpoena records were requested. Now, what's interesting is I would think that the government would be able to see exactly what was texted and have like voice communications. But apparently, at least according to the news reports, only thing that they can see is that there was a text message sent to this telephone number, or that there was a telephone call with this telephone number for this length of time.
They can't.
But they don't know what was the
said.
Substance. And I said, I thought the U.S. would be able to. Maybe the president can, but maybe Congress can't. I don't know. I just found it surprising. Like, why can't they see what they were saying?
Right.
Those records exist somewhere.
They have to.
Yeah, they exist somewhere. And Rudy Giuliani, America's former America's mayor. He's not America's mayor anymore.
Right.
He was America's mayor for about a week during 9/11.
Anytime I think about him, I think about this picture right there.
Which picture?
His hair.
Oh my
color.
God! Yes. Do you know what? When I picture him, I picture that. I don't know if you saw the Borat, the second one.
No, not the second one.
Okay, so the second one, Borat. It's like a docu-comedy, but it's really a documentary. He's just filming as they go along. And they sent in this, very pretty blonde actress who was pretending to be a newscaster from Eastern Europe to interview Giuliani. And Giuliani, if you remember, asked her into the bedroom and was starting to take his pants off, believing that she was interested in him, and lying in the bed when this is all being filmed for a comedy movie, and he had no idea. That's what I think about him now, what a disgusting human being he is. So anyway, he has been subpoenaed to be a witness for the January 6th panel investigating the January 6th attacks, as well as another Trump attorney by the name of Sidney Powell. Both of them were spreading vicious lies that President Biden did not win the election, They were spreading vicious lies that the election was stolen from President Trump, using his words exactly. They were spreading vicious lies that that there was an enormous amount of fraud, but only fraud in the states where Biden won. There was no fraud in the states that Trump won.
That's so ignorant.
And I'm not comparing anybody to Adolf Hitler, because Adolf Hitler is in his own universe of the worst human being ever to be on this earth. But I will say Adolf Hitler, it is known quote, the bigger the lie, the more believable it is. And that was Adolf Hitler's quote.
Wow.
Okay, the bigger the lie, the more believable it is. And here we have a situation where Trump is trying to make the biggest lie in the world. He convinced half the Republican Party that Biden stole the election from him. He convinced half of the Republican Party that this entire election was fraud.
Right.
And he should be the president of the United States. And he was using Rudy Giuliani, Sidney Powell, some of the other people to encourage these lies to continue. Because if it's being said by enough people in power, the bigger the lie, they must be right.
Yeah.
And they knew all along they were lying. It's the big lie. And now the January 6th Commission is asking them to come in to be subpoenaed about this big, big lie. And you know what they're saying? Which is, I would be surprised. I'm not surprised they're not saying it. We're the attorneys for Donald Trump. You can't subpoena us. We have attorney-client privilege. So we'll see how it all plays out. We will see how it all plays out. But, you know, this whole entire thing comes down to the bigger the lie, the more believable it is.
Yeah.
And if you keep repeating that lie again and again and again and again and again, people are going to start believing it.
Yeah, of course.
Especially people who are unhappy with the results of the election.
Yes, yeah. They want to believe
it.
They
want to believe it. And I have no new statistics on coronavirus because we have no idea who's self-testing at home. But now the federal government formally launched its website to sign up free COVID-19 tests. It's at covidtest.gov. You can go online right now, and every person in the United States of America, every household, is entitled to 4 free COVID self-tests from home a month.
Do
it. I've done the self-test from home. I haven't gone on the website. I'm going to do that tonight and get it. But I've done the self-test at home. They're really easy to do.
15 minutes.
15 minutes, you know whether you have COVID or not.
Yep.
It is so simple. It's easier than sitting online at CityMD.
Yeah.
And it is a reliable test.
Yeah.
Meaning this is the reliability. If you get a positive result, it is almost certain you have COVID. The only time you get a false result is there are false negatives where you may have COVID and it's saying you don't. But if you get a positive result on that test,
then
for certain, almost certain, I mean, nothing is certain in life except death and taxes, but it's almost certain that you do have COVID.
Yeah.
They are very reliable on the positive side, these tests. And it's free. Everybody should have it in their household. And you get again in February and March and April. Every month, go online and order 4 new ones for your family. Let's get Humpy.
All right.
You ready to get Humpy? We
Let
got some
the
camels.
Out.
Where
Let the camels out.
It's Hump Day. It's Hump Day.
It's Hump Day.
Yeah.
It's Hump Day.
Can't go that low.
I can't do it. You know that's not my voice doing it.
It isn't.
It is not my voice. I am not the voice of the camels.
Yes, I know who it is.
I know who it is too. But I am not the voice of the camels. Somebody asked me if I was. And I said, listen to this and you tell me. It's Hump Day.
Yeah,
I said, does that sound like the camel? No. All right. So for the new year, Jonathan, you ready?
Yep.
I know this is your favorite segment all week on Bradshaw Live Hump Day.
Nope, it's not. Not gonna lie.
His favorite segment's Tuesday Tea.
It is, very much so.
Yes. All right, but today's Hump Day.
Yes.
Cosmopolitan magazine. You know, Cosmopolitan magazine
Yes.
is a little bit racy woman's, very cosmopolitan, very forward magazine. They've come out with some new words for Hump Day for 2022. Some new Hump Day 2022 words. You've heard of intercourse, Jonathan, but now a new word for 2022 is outer course. We will be having some outer course today, not intercourse.
Sounds safe.
It sounds safer. This is forecasted by sex toy brand Lilo as a definitive sex trend for 2022. It's the catch-all phrase for non-penetrative sex.
Yeah, see?
Massages, touching, anything where nothing's going inside of something else.
Okay. I like massages.
It's outer course.
I like outer course.
I like outer course as long as it leads to
Okay.
as long as it leads to intercourse at some point. Other than that, you're just getting some outer course.
Yeah.
You're like, damn, I can't sleep now, right? True or not true?
Very true.
All right, another word. That is a prediction for new words for 2022 is wanderlove. You've heard of wanderlust, right? Mm-hmm. When you're a wanderlust, you just like to travel the world. I am a wanderlust. I like to go all over, see everything, see new experiences. Well, wanderlove, this is from Happen, the dating site Happen. Mm-hmm. They say the new term for 2022 is going to be wanderlove, and that is when you are being a wanderlust and traveling the world and seeing new things.
With your partner?
No, you meet up with somebody and have a romantic twist in another country while you are traveling on holiday. It is called a wanderlove instead of wanderlust.
Okay.
All right. And now you've heard of Gwyneth Paltrow when she divorced Chris Martin in 2014. She said she was consciously uncoupling.
Yes.
And everyone was like, what the heck does that mean? And she goes, you don't understand that? Wait until I start selling you my candles.
Right.
Okay? So we knew she was out of her mind
right.
when she came up with unconscious coupling and then followed it up with some smelly candles of her private parts,
see,
right?
Now it's part of dating.
Conscious uncoupling is part of dating now, and so is her candles, in the bathrooms if you want it to smell like Gwyneth Paltrow. But now there is a new word. It's called consciously single, where instead of saying, I trying to find a man or a woman or be in a relationship with whoever you choose to be, whatever, sexual orientation you are making a conscious decision to remain single and enjoy that singleness.
I feel like the pandemic has taught us to enjoy yourself. If you were single already, you find different ways to just love on yourself and, entertain yourself.
Well, yes, and now it's consciously single.
Yeah. It's okay to be single.
You can be consciously single. There's
it's
nothing
okay.
wrong with it.
Nothing wrong.
There's nothing wrong.
No single shaming.
That's right. There's nothing wrong in the single game.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
And there's nothing wrong in the dating game.
No.
Right? Eat a game.
Good. As long as it's healthy.
That's right. Let's see. There's a lot of them here. I'm not going to go through all of them. Here's one. Sex toy Lilo again. Back to sex toy Lilo. They believe in 2022 more individuals are going to be identifying as heteroflexible. Predominantly hetero, but may indulge in same-sex or some other non-heterosexual activity. So basically, what's the difference between that and bi-curious?
I think it's just like fluid, just like
Just
being
more fluid. You're not
because bi-curious is
you're
not.
You're curious.
You're
still.
curious. You're like, huh?
Yeah,
should I?
you already.
But-
Yeah, I mean,
What
I don't know.
the
I don't
hell?
know who's making love with that horse head.
I mean,
okay,
it's just fluid.
But yeah, that's being hetero fluid.
Yeah,
you're not.
it's just-
You're not curious anymore when you are. Making,
Yeah,
when
it's
you're
like
making,
if
when
it
you're
happens, it happens.
When you're making love to a man with a horse on his head, yeah, that's not curious. That's being hetero.
Yeah,
That's being hetero flexible.
Yes.
All right, and let me pick one more. The last one. Data from Hinge, the dating site, suggests that 22 is going to be the year daters will leave situationships. You ever heard that term?
I've always heard that.
I'm in a situationship, and they're going to be upfront from their relationship goals and bid a swift thank you next to anyone who doesn't match up. So
Yeah.
when you are in a situationship, you don't even know what you're calling yourselves, right?
Right.
And it's really, you don't know what's going on. You don't know what the person's thinking. And now in 2022, we've had enough.
Yeah.
Everyone's had enough. All right, lay your cards on the table. What's going on? There's no situationship anymore. What do you think, Yo-Yo?
I like the idea of, knowing what you want and like laying it all out on the table, but it can scare some people, where you're like, okay, this is what I want. I want kids and I want to get married by this time. I want to make sure that we're making this much money and buy a house together. It's like, woo!
Let me tell you something, all right? You want to be smart? You don't say that right away. That is the last that would scare the hell out of anybody. Scare the hell out of anybody.
So you have to, maneuver your way into.
You absolutely. You got to
it.
get the person to fall for you.
Yeah.
That once they fall for you, you got to be smart about your situationship.
Yeah.
You got to get the person to fall for you.
Yeah.
Okay, and then be like gaga over you, and then you kind of throw in the. I want 2.2 kids, a house in the suburbs, and a Volvo.
Right. So I feel like there's levels to, how you can measure up your relationships. Like now, from your first date if you're going to really like them, if you guys are going to, connect on that type of level. So there's levels to being a relationship go-getter. But I wouldn't say throw it all out right
You can't throw it right away.
First date.
No.
Scary.
I disagree with Hinge. I agree with you, Yo-Yo.
Yeah,
I think
scary.
situationships are still going to be around.
Yeah.
You got to play your cards right.
Yeah.
Got to play your cards right. All right. Meanwhile, somebody who's not playing their cards right is Playboy playmate Elizabeth Marie Chevalier. She says it's impossible for her to find a suitor. She just can't find anybody. Chevalier, she's a 27-year-old model. She's appeared in Maxim, Playboy. She told Jam Press, and I'm quoting, we have a picture of her? There she is. Dating is hard. Guys are scared because I'm so beautiful. The bombshell claimed that she deters the fellas because I'm tall, I'm 5'10", I'm beautiful, I have a very intense personality. And she says she can't find anybody. She would even date one of her followers on Instagram, but everybody who sends her any sort of DM, it's all about wanting to have sex with her or her body parts. She can't seem to find anybody who's interested in her for her.
Well,
Yo-Yo, the floor is yours.
It's kind of hard when all you're showing the world is that,
Yes.
So, I mean, she is a beautiful girl. We've had stories like this where they don't look that good. And I'm like, okay, she is beautiful, but there are definitely people out there that are more beautiful. Not saying like, oh, I don't want y'all to jump on me, but like there are some naturally beautiful people out there. She's got her body done and all that. I think, people don't really want a wife.
Now
let
me tell you, Yo-Yo, let me say something, okay? She says guys are scared to date her because she's 5'10". Let me tell you something. Elizabeth Marie Chevalier.
Yeah, I know girls that are taller than her that are wiped up.
I am 5'8".
You like tall girls.
I like tall women. 1-800-529-5465. You can drop me a DM. Be happy to take you out and find out all about you.
Is she your type?
Let me see again.
We have a lot of pictures of her.
Yeah, why not?
See, so that's what I'm saying.
Why not? Yes, call me, Elizabeth. 1-800-5. But this is the problem, Yo-Yo. Okay, she says she really wants to find the right man.
Yeah.
Okay, this is the problem, though. Okay, because she is just showing skin. She's not showing her personality.
That's what I'm saying.
Okay? And now she's saying, you know, the person I want to meet has to be tall, tan, green eyes, good body. So, I mean, come on, man. Can't have it all and then complain nobody wants to date you.
That's what I'm saying. Like, and I had already known, like, she was gonna throw something out there like that. I'm sure there are people out there that would want to date her.
So now she's not gonna.
Now it's the people that she won't don't want to date her.
You know what?
That's
So
it
now
is.
forget it. Don't even bother calling one. Call another lawyer. Don't even bother. You know what? Delete lawing from your phone, Elizabeth. Not interested anymore.
At least you got the colored eyes.
I got the green eyes, though. Yeah. All right, and lastly, maybe this woman's more for me. What do you think? Oh, no, she doesn't want me either. Damn. A super fit grandma, 63 years old. She says she only wants to date 18-year-olds.
No.
Yeah, she doesn't want me either.
No,
a
she
gym
does
obsessed,
not. Like,
well, let me see what she has to say. A gym obsessed grandmother. Maybe she wants to date me. Let's see. A gym obsessed grandmother.
Them.
Oh, she attracts them. I thought she wants to date them.
No.
All right. A gym obsessed grandmother who says she regularly attracts 18-year-old suitors has shared her top tips for Wow.
Golly.
Let's see a picture of her again.
Wow.
She's 63?
Great.
Wow.
Sheesh.
Very good. 63. Now, her name's Leslie Maxwell. She's from Melbourne, Australia. You know what her problem with Leslie Maxwell is?
What?
It's called geographically undesirable. She couldn't be any further away from New York if her life depended on it, right? Her size 8 grandmother works out 5 times a week, has almost 30 local and national titles under her belt, winning her first show at the age of 49. Leslie also often hits the gym with fitness fanatic granddaughter Tia. I bet you she's better looking than the granddaughter. Let's see what the...
Oh, damn.
Nah, maybe not.
Granddaughter looks pretty, too.
Yeah, she's revealed common diet pitfalls and what to avoid if you want to keep trim for 2022. Giving more tips, Leslie continued. Another would be for a power walk after dinner. Yeah, power walking effectively can work every muscle in your legs and glutes, plus great for your core, and then it obviously... You know, you walk off your dinner.
Yeah.
So you don't go to bed with a full stomach and it just sits there.
That's smart.
I think that's very smart.
Just said stay away from wine.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know about that one.
I don't know about that one either. Can we come up with a different rule?
Right.
Who came up with that rule?
I don't like it.
Who came up with the stay away from wine rule?
She said, that's what she said, soda and wine.
She said stay away from it?
Yeah.
You know what I have to say about that rule?
What you got to say? We don't like that one.
We don't like that one.
I don't either.
All right. Now, she gets a lot of attention from men at the gym online, but says her looks often intimidate them. The fit grandma added, the guys are from about 18 years old, which is really funny. I take everything as a compliment. It's really great that they even follow me. She says, of course, I appreciate the male followers, and men definitely add spice to life. I don't think this changes whatever age we are in.
That's awesome.
Yes.
That's awesome.
And I think we got to move on.
Let's do it.
That's our hump day for the day, guys. What do you think, Yo-Yo?
We're still alive.
We're still alive.
Here.
You're still willing to do it again next week?
I am.
All right, great. In this edition of TikTok Time, by the way, Carol Anderson, the Tiger, PSA from the Tiger. She's her second PSA.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, she says wine is great for the body.
Yeah, I agree.
In moderation.
In moderation.
That's right. Agree. You know what? The Tiger knows what she's talking about.
I think she was just saying that's what she does. She stays away from
the. Yeah. All right. In this edition of TikTok Time, I answer questions about how someone under 21 can get a green card and what to do about a delayed citizenship. Let's watch.
Anything about you. You can do a special immigrant juvenile if you're under 21 and you are abandoned, neglected, or by your parents. You can do an adoption if somebody wants to adopt you and you're under 16. If you're over 18, you can get married if you're in love and in a bona fide marriage. You can apply for DACA, and there may very well be a DREAM Act for an amnesty. That may pass very shortly, but that's if you qualify for DACA, Deferred Action for Childhood Arrivals. I don't even know you. I told you I was going to give you 4. I think I even gave you more than 4. That's why you call an immigration lawyer and the immigration lawyer finds out everything about you and can give you your best options for you. Well, I don't know what the delay is. Perhaps you may know what the delay is if you have some skeletons in your closet that immigration has to investigate. But if you got a straightforward naturalization case, you should be filing a mandamus or a threat of a mandamus to get your interview.
All right, it's meat and potatoes time. You got an immigration question? I hopefully have your answer in getting immigration answers to your immigration questions. Is that what we call it?
Getting answers to your immigration questions.
There we go. Easy E listens to you. Nobody listens to me. It's your homie. All right, let's go to Kenneth in Middleborough, Kentucky. Kenneth. Kenneth, how are you? Kenneth. Kenneth. Kenneth.
Huh?
You've been waiting 1 hour, man.
Yeah.
Now's your
How you
time
doing,
to
man?
shine.
Yeah, how you doing? Let me call you back. Yeah.
Yeah, Kenneth, it's your time to shine.
Yes, yes.
1 hour waiting. I don't want to hang up on you.
No, so I'm here. I can hear you, man.
All right, what's going on?
Yes, I've been waiting, listening to you. I can say with all sincerity that I've really enjoyed your show.
Thank you very much.
This is my first time of joining you.
Oh, thank you. That's really nice. Thank you.
Yeah. So I have my case has been on for since 2020. I actually filed April 13, 2020.
Who's sponsoring you,
Thank you. I went for my interview last year, March 18th. And since the interview, there hasn't been any response from USCIS. So I'm just a little bit worried and concerned that I don't know what is going on.
All right, Kenneth, can I ask you a few questions now?
Yes.
Okay. Who's sponsoring you? Is this a marriage case?
Yes, marriage case.
Okay. Your wife's a U.S. citizen.
Yes, sir.
And where are you from?
I'm originally from Nigeria.
And when did you come to the United States?
I came late 2018.
How did you come to the United States?
I came through the B1, B2 visa.
Okay. How old are you?
How old I am?
Yes.
I'm 42.
And how old is your wife?
My wife is 42 too.
Okay. Do you have children with your wife?
No.
Were you married previously in Nigeria?
Yes.
Did you get a divorce in Nigeria or in the United States?
I got divorced in Nigeria.
Okay. So let me tell you why I believe you have not gotten a decision yet.
Okay.
Every person from Nigeria or the surrounding countries of Nigeria in that part of the continent of Africa, the Immigration Service goes and investigates every divorce because there are a lot. I'm not saying your divorce is fraudulent, but they have uncovered a lot of fraudulent divorces coming out of Nigeria and some of the other countries surrounding Nigeria. So immigration, as soon as you present a divorce from Nigeria, red flag, even if it is a valid divorce, they will investigate it. They have people, they have teams in Nigeria going to the court to see if this is actually filed in the courthouse. They also have experts. We were on a interview with a couple from Nigeria. One was a U.S. citizen, dual citizen between U.S. and Nigeria. The husband was Nigerian, and they have an expert come in and explain why this divorce is not valid based on what's written in that divorce.
Yes.
So I can tell you, I don't know for a fact, but if I had to put a bet, I would bet strongly they're investigating your divorce, number one. Now, if you know your divorce is kosher, you know what I mean by kosher?
Mm-hmm.
Kosher means it's good, it's valid, you did everything the right way. Then you don't have anything to worry about. They'll verify that it's a valid divorce, and eventually they will go to step 2, which is, are you and your wife in a bona fide marriage? Do you live together? Do you have a financial relationship? Do you have criminal records? but you don't have criminal records. I assume you're in a bona fide relationship with your wife, but they do take about 18 months to investigate these divorces. So that's my guess of what's happening.
Okay. So for that, on that basis, because I was actually married here before I met my current wife, you know.
So you were married here. This is your third wife.
Yes.
Okay, so you have a divorce here in the U.S. as well.
Yes.
That's fine. I don't have a problem with falling in love, falling out of love, falling in love, falling out of love, falling in love, falling out of love.
Yes.
Okay, it happens. Okay, even to me. I fall in love, I fall out. I fall in, I fall out. Happens.
Yes.
Everybody. All right? They're investigating your divorce in Nigeria. Okay, if it's good, sleep well. If you think, I don't know about this divorce, then you need to speak to me. All right?
Yes, no, everything is fine. So,
all right, so then just just chill, and you'll hear from them soon. Probably by the end of the summer. If you don't hear from them by the end of the summer, call me back.
Okay.
All right?
So the last thing I want to ask you, because there was a lawyer I spoke to, it was like he has to file a lawsuit and all that. I was like, well, I really don't know about that.
Well, you can threaten to file a mandamus for sure. But I would wait at least till the end of the summer. Let them investigate your divorce and then take it from there.
Okay.
All right? And then that's why I said call me at the end of the summer if 18 months is gone since your interview and you still don't have a result. I'll tell you the one good news is because your case is delayed so long, by the time you get your green card, you're not going to get a 2-year card. You're going to get a 10-year card because you've been married for more than 2 years.
Yes. That
so at least you only have to go through this one time.
Okay.
All right? Good luck. Hold on. All right?
Yeah, thanks.
My pleasure. Let's go to Cam in Queens. Cam.
Hello.
Hi, Cam. How are you?
Yes, sir. I'm good. How are you?
Good. What's going on?
Yes. Actually, sir, I came here illegally. I just crossed the border, and after that, I applied for the asylum. Is pending. It's been 7 years. And
7 years,
in the meantime, I got married, and I have VAWA approval recently. So my question is how I will get a green card. I have just a VAWA approved.
Okay. So let me get a few questions. You came through the border through Canada or through Mexico?
Mexico.
Okay. Were you stopped at the border, or you just made it through and then months later applied for asylum?
No, I was in a detention center.
You were in a detention center?
Yes.
Okay. Did you ever go back to see you got released at some point. Did you ever go back to see a judge?
Yeah, I have in New York. I have I go for a 26 hours.
All right. So did a judge order you deported?
No, never. No. We talk with the judge about I'm going to file the VAWA.
Okay. So the judge never ordered you deported. All right. So you now have your VAWA approved.
Yes.
Okay. So now, do you have a new hearing date before a judge, or was your case marked off the calendar?
Yeah, I have a 2025, yeah.
Yeah, well, we talked about it maybe 30 minutes ago. There's what we say, there's 1.6 million people in your situation with pending cases, which is why you have a hearing in 2025. What we can do is we can, write a motion to the judge, ask the judge to recalendar the case to an earlier date. There's no guarantee the judge does it. Show your best humanitarian reasons, and then ask the judge to give you an earlier date to either adjust your status or terminate. You can also make a motion to terminate and just ask the judge, I got my approval on my VAWA, terminate the case and let me adjust before the USCIS. Do you have your work permit now?
Yes, I have a work permit through asylum, yeah.
Okay. All right. So it's not the work permit problem. Your problem is getting the green card. So the next step would be make your motion to the judge, ask the judge to recalendar, or ask the judge to terminate because you have the I-360 approved.
Okay, so I will get a green card. I already applied for the the green card. So my
I understand that, but you still you still, well, if you're an arriving alien, let me just think this through. If you're an arriving alien, you should be able to file an adjustment directly, locally with USCIS and bypass the judge completely. So maybe you've done that. I don't know if you're considered an arriving alien, but you said you were held in detention and released. So perhaps you're an arriving alien. You just file the adjustment with the Immigration Service and ask the judge to terminate your proceedings.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
So hold on one second.
Yeah.
Maybe you need help because I got to see where you are. Okay. But as an arriving alien, you should be able to ask the judge to terminate proceedings and just adjust your status before immigration. Hold on. Let's go to Joy in Los Angeles. Joy. Joy in Los Angeles. Joy. Joy in Los Angeles going once. Joy in Los Angeles going twice. There is no Joy in Los Angeles. Let's go to Soka in Salt Lake City, Utah.
Yeah, Brett, how are you doing?
Good. How are you?
Yeah, good. Yes, I have a question about I-130.
Yes.
How long you should wait I-130 after you apply for
Who's sponsoring you? Or who you
children?
sponsoring?
Yeah, I tried to respond. For my child under 21.
Your children under 21. Are you a U.S. citizen or a resident?
U.S. citizen.
In pre-COVID, it was taking 9 months, but now it's about 12 to 15 months. Where are your children?
Yeah, in Kenya.
In Kenya. Has it been pending
Yes.
more than 15 months?
Yeah, I have been waiting since July.
July. Well, no, it's not even 15 months yet. Call me if you haven't gotten a decision by October of 2022. Call me.
Okay. Thank you, Brett.
Okay. Let's go to Elaine in Newark.
Hi, Brad.
Hi, Elaine.
I filed for my mom, and I requested for
I'm sorry?
evidence because my birth certificate, it was blurred. I think they couldn't see it. But when I checked the birth certificate, when I got a new one, I didn't submit it yet. When I got the new one, my mom's name was spelled incorrectly. And should I reapply again? And
I don't hear what you're saying. I heard something about a birth certificate and then you checked a new one. Can you either take yourself off speaker, take a step to the right?
Okay, you hear me now?
Now I do.
Okay, so there USCIS request for initial evidence because my birth certificate, the first one that I submitted, it was blurred. They said they couldn't see it. But when I applied for a new birth certificate, I saw that my mom's name was spelled incorrect. I'm telling for my mom. Should I just go ahead and change my mom's name on the birth certificate card and then submit?
You got an RFE for a birth certificate. You're filing for your mom, and and your mom's name is different.
My mom's name is
I would just don't change anything. Submit it with an affidavit from your mom and one other person that whatever the name is the same person.
Well, no, but because they requested evidence for the birth certificate and you want because they could see it. So
I don't understand what you're saying because you're cutting in and out. All I understand what you're saying is that you filed for your mother, you submitted a birth certificate, immigration couldn't read the birth certificate, you got a new birth certificate, you want to submit it, the name is different of your mother than on what you originally submitted, and I'm saying you don't change anything, you submit what you have, that's the birth certificate, and then you explain yourself in affidavits that this person and this person's the same person. And if they still don't believe you, you'll take a blood test. And this is your mother. You prick your finger, your mother pricks your finger, and boom. DNA doesn't lie. That's what you do.
Okay.
Hold on. You sounds like you need help. Let's go to Maricela in Fort Worth, Texas.
Yes. I am calling on behalf of a friend. Him and his wife applied to renew their resident card at the same time back in July. His wife received the renewal card a month later. Right now, he's still waiting for his. And he's a little bit concerned. This is the third time that he renews his 10-year resident card, but he had 3 DWIs before 2000. So he's wondering if he needs to do anything.
Yes. First of all, rule number 1, rule number 2, and rule number 3. you do not make any applications with immigration if you have a criminal record without speaking to a lawyer first. It's rule 1, 2, and 3. And if like rule 1 is don't file anything. If you have a criminal arrest, you have a criminal conviction, anything. Rule number 1, you don't file anything with immigration. DWI, DUI, murder, and everything in between. You don't file with immigration anything until you speak to a lawyer. Rule number 2 is if you forgot rule number 1, don't forget it. And rule number 3 is don't forget rule number 2. If you forgot rule number 1, don't forget it. Speak to a lawyer. Because he renewed his green card in the past and got it, or traveled and returned and had these 3 DWIs, doesn't necessarily mean he's going to get his green card back now, and it doesn't necessarily mean he won't be put in deportation. Because he is a deportable alien. 3 DWIs driving while intoxicated is a deportable alien, no matter how long ago it happened. And just because he renewed his green card in the past and they gave it to him, or just because he traveled and they gave it to him, all that means is somebody looked at it and said, we'll leave him alone this time. Maybe they were busy. Maybe they had too many people in removal. Who knows? But every time you come across immigration, renewing your green card, traveling with a criminal arrest, criminal conviction, just because nothing happened to you last time doesn't mean something won't happen to you this time. It's a now independent evaluation all over again. The reason why he hasn't got his green card is he's deportable. They're determining whether to put him in deportation. He needs a lawyer now.
Okay, so at this point he hasn't received a notice or anything.
At this point he needs a lawyer now.
A lawyer, okay.
A lawyer.
Okay, perfect. I'll let him know then.
Okay. Prax in Irving, Texas.
All right.
How are you?
All good. So I do have a question. So I filed for EV3 and I got my LC approved.
You got your what approved?
LC, labor cert. I don't know.
Perm.
Yeah, labor.
Your labor application. Your perm.
Yeah, the labor application. So now I'm kind of filling up I-485, I-765, and
I-140.
131. Yeah. So basically those. So the case is like my wife is not here in U.S. So she's abroad. So I can file it for her, right? And
who's sponsoring? You're not the employer.
No, I'm not the employer.
So what do you mean you can file it for her? The employer.
I mean, like, can I include her in the application?
Time out. The employer files the I-140. The I-140 has to. Let me tell you the process now, because you got it wrong. Okay. You have the perm approved. You have to file an I-140 visa petition within 180 days of the approval of the perm, or the perm's no good anymore. The employer, not you, not your wife, the employer, the sponsor of your wife. This is not your wife's current employer. She's in another country. This is somebody who's promising to hire your wife when she enters the United States with a green card. They're the ones who file the I-140 visa petition. And they have to do it, and that's all you're doing right now. And they have to do it within 180 days of the perm approval. Once the I-140 is approved, you're still not going to do an I-45. The I-45 is only if your wife is in the United States. She's not. The case will be transferred to the National Visa Center, and then you're going to process her. Then you can assist her in processing her for an immigrant visa interview at a U.S. embassy in another country.
So basically, so once I get the only green card,
listen to me.
Then I'll be able. Is that correct?
No. Listen to me again. There's 3 steps. You did a perm. Your wife's in another country. It's prospective employment. Perm, you do an I-140. Very simple. You don't have to think. I'm giving you information, no thinking involved. The employer files an I-140 with the perm and proof they have the financial ability to offer her the job. Very simple. With her reference of experience. Reference of experience. Here's proof we can afford to pay her salary. Here's the perm approval. Here's an I-140 visa petition. I just told you part 2 to a T. I-140 gets approved. The case gets transferred to the National Visa Center. You process her at the National Visa Center for an immigrant visa in another country. The employer gives her a job letter to walk into the U.S. Embassy. We're going to hire her an XYZ job according to the perm application, blah, blah, blah. Good job letter. She gets her green card. She comes to the United States to work for this employer. That is the case. There is no I-45.
Got it.
All right? Good luck.
Thanks.
Let's go to Zara in Orlando.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi. So, I first want to thank you for speaking about dreamers. A lot of times I hear about DACA and not dreamers, so I just want to thank you for doing that.
My pleasure.
A legal dreamer. Okay. So I came into the U.S. with a B-1-2 visa. Then I got my R2 from my mom, who was an R1. We filed for asylum and still haven't heard anything about that since.
Okay.
So I'm a legal dreamer. So how can I, and I'm going to be turning 21 soon. So how can I get legal status as a legal dreamer?
What do you mean by legal dreamer? Do you have DACA?
I came to the U.S. when I was a child.
You have a pending asylum case right now through your mother.
Correct.
Okay. Your asylum's been pending for years. So
correct.
The answer would be, at this point, you would... If your mother has a good asylum case, and I've done this for people who have asylum cases pending for years, we threaten a mandamus, we file a mandamus, they will interview you in 60 days. And if it's a good case, you'll get approved and get a green card. If it's denied, your mother would probably be put in removal and you would probably apply for DACA.
So you said file for what, sorry?
It's called a mandamus, which is a threat of the government to do their job, which is interview you in a reasonable amount of time. Generally, what we do is we don't actually file it in federal court. We threaten to file it, and it's good enough to get an interview, which is all we need.
Okay. All right.
So that's the next step, is the threat of federal litigation to get your mother an interview. But you only do that if you feel confident your mother's going to win her case. She doesn't have a good asylum case. Why would you do that?
Okay.
So we need to speak to your mother first and figure out. We need to speak to your mother first and figure out if she's got a good case.
Her case would be good, right? Because it's been a couple of years.
No, that doesn't mean anything. Correct? Just because it's a couple of years just means nobody's looked at it. Doesn't mean it's a good case.
So what makes it a good case?
That she has a fear of persecution because of a specific group that she's a member of.
Okay. And one more thing.
Yes.
So my mom was eligible for the green card after 5 years on her R1 visa. She signed up, but she filed for it, but the attorney told her that the Trump administration changed the qualification through R1 visa from a part-time worker to a full-time worker. Is this true? And can we go back and you just said we can file for like a mandate to tell them,
I don't know what her current status is anymore. If her R1 is expired, she's not going to be able to do an I-360. It's for full-time employment. It's for full-time employment, not part-time employment, that your entire career, your entire being, what you do is you have given your life to your religion and working as a religious worker. That's always been the rule. So number one, we need to speak to mom. Number two, we need to speak to mom. Hold on. Let's go to Colleen in Fayetteville, North Carolina.
Hello.
Hi, Colleen.
I was wondering if I can get an H-1B visa with a pending AOS.
Why would you want to do that?
Because my J1 expires in June, and I'm not sure if I'll get my work permit and stuff before June.
Well, you wouldn't get an H-1B. You wouldn't be getting H-1B till October. You would file April 1st, and there's no guarantee you even get in the lottery, and there's no guarantee that you would get that you would even get an H-1B. You are much better off just continue with your adjustment of status. If you filed it, you should get a work permit soon.
Yeah, because I did the biometrics on December 20th.
Yeah, you'll get it before June.
All right, then.
All right, okay. Let's go to Leas in Minneapolis, Minnesota.
Hi, Brian.
Hi, how are you?
Doing good. Hello?
Hi, Leas. I'm listening.
Yeah. So I have a few questions to you. So I recently got married. My wife, she's on H-1B. in the past, like she got convicted for disorderly conduct, and in Minnesota, it's a misdemeanor. So we just recently filed her change of status. Does it impact her?
Yes. Will she get a green card? Most likely. Even if it's a misdemeanor, it sounds like it's a petty offense.
Petty offense?
Yeah, sounds like it. I would have to look up the law, but it sounds like it. But yes, it affects her. Still have to prove good moral character.
So is there any specific, document that we have to carry while going to interview?
Well, I think the first thing you got to do is figure out if it's, you see, what I don't understand, why do you file papers with immigration? Your wife has a criminal record, and you file it with blinders on without any thought that is what's going to happen. What would happen to me if I file these papers with a criminal record? And people do this all the time. I don't get it. Why would you file something and then after you file it say, oh, will this affect me? What should I do? That should all be done before you file. It makes no sense. It's illogical. It's illogical what you're doing. But my answer to you is I don't know the Minnesota criminal penal statutes off the top of my head. I'm not a lawyer in Minnesota. But the next step is your wife needs to have a consultation. We need to look at her criminal records and determine what effect these criminal records are going to have on an application that you already filed. Because you can't take it back now.
Yep.
Hold on one second. I don't get it. Why do people do this? So frustrating. Let's go back to Joy in Los Angeles. Joy, how are you?
Hi, Brett. How are you? I'm fine.
Good. What's going on?
Actually, I'm U.S. citizen, so I apply for my wife. So, and I have one stepson. He's like 5 years old. When I apply, and my wife get approved, so I don't know. I have to file separate by separate. So, and I do with online with my stepson. So, my wife already get documentary qualified 10 months ago. But last week I got my stepson. He get case approved. So my question is, they can come together, I can make together, or I have to separate?
You still have to do it separate. You got to still do all the affidavits of support and everything. After your son gets documentarily qualified, then you're going to write the National Visa Center and say, we got a mother and a 5-year-old, let's get these things together. So they get appointments together.
So Brad, actually already my wife got documentary qualified.
But your stepson is not. Your stepson just got approved. So now you got to.
So I have to also make documentary qualified to my stepson?
Yes.
Oh, he's 5 years old. So
what? Everybody's their individual person.
Okay. So I have to still give it to him, like all the document for document supports or whatever.
Yes.
Everything.
Yes.
So separate is better. I think so.
Not better. It's the only way.
So because actually she waiting for my wife waiting for interview. So maybe it's gonna come like 2-3 months after later.
Well then,
and documentary qualified they're coming.
Then your stepson won't be coming with her. So you need to move your tuchus on your stepson, get it done, get him documentarily qualified, and then write the National Visa Center and say, put these two cases together.
Okay, Brett. Thank you.
You're
Thank
very
you,
welcome.
Brett.
Move your tuchus. You know what that means, Yo-Yo?
Move your butt.
Move your butt. That's right. Let's go to Raj. It's Hump Day.
Hey.
Raj,
Hi,
how
Brett.
are you?
Good. How are you?
Good. What's going on?
I have one question. My wife applied naturalization last year, and then she wants to go to home country. How long she can stay there?
Does she have a green card or she's a citizen?
She's a green card, but she had applied naturalization last year.
Okay. So this is the rules. Okay. Number one, she shouldn't stay out for more than 6 months. For sure. Okay. Number two, if she wants to become a citizen of the United States, there should be no trip more than 6 months at any time in the last 5 years, dating all the way up to the point where she gets her interview and swears it. Number two, she has to be physically in the United States for 30 out of 60 months when she files, 30 out of 60 months when she goes for her interview, and 30 out of 60 months when she swears in. So I don't know how often she's left previously. So you got to calculate that.
Not much. Yeah,
Okay. So if it's not much, then she can stay out for up to 6 months.
6 months.
180 days.
Okay, got it.
180 days.
180.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you so much. Really appreciate it.
All right. Let's go to Amuj in Corona, California. How are you, Amuj?
Hi, sir. Hi, you.
Go ahead. What's your question?
Yeah, my question is that actually I applied for my citizenship in August last year,
right,
2021, and after that I not heard anything from them. Even I just received like a couple days. I received a notice of action. We receive your your package, everything, because I apply online and 400.
So you filed in August 2021, and you just got a receipt back now.
Yes, means I don't receive anything from the.
But you got a receipt that they accepted your application. You know it's there somewhere.
Yeah, they receive it. Yeah, they accept it.
All right. So sometime over the summer, you should be called for an interview.
Okay. So in this case, sir, I need to take my fingerprint because I done my fingerprint.
No, you won't have to fingerprint again. They're using your old fingerprint from when you got your green card.
Okay. So pretty much look like maybe a couple more months.
I would say sometime over the summer. It's taking a little under a year.
I'm sorry, sir. Can you repeat one more time?
It is taking a little under a year, so I would assume sometime over the summer.
Okay, in summertime. Okay.
All
Okay,
right. All right. Good luck.
Thank you, sir.
Okay.
Thank you. Bye.
Let's go to Ishmael in San Rafael, California.
Hey, Brad. How you doing?
Good. How are you?
Good, good. First of all, I want to thank you, for helping us out.
My pleasure.
Questions.
My pleasure.
You helped me a lot in the past.
Appreciate it.
As well. I'm calling for my brother.
Uh-huh.
He filed his last paperwork to get the interview into the Juarez. He's through marriage. He's trying to get his green card through marriage. He has a DACA. He filed back in 2019. You think he might be able to get the interview this year, probably?
I would assume so. I would assume so, but with COVID, you never know. There's huge backlogs.
Yeah.
But I would assume the answer is yes. When did he get his DACA? How old was he?
He was over 18 already. I think it was 19 and a half or so.
Okay, so he needs a provisional waiver. Does he know that?
Yes, he got that approved already.
He has the provisional waiver done.
Yeah, for the interview there.
All right. Then it's just a matter of waiting, hopefully within the next few months.
Next few months.
Yeah.
And I've also heard of they're waiving some of the interviews. Are those cases part of that, or
no.
he still has to go outside?
He has to go there for an interview.
Okay.
All right.
All right. Awesome. Thank you, sir.
All right. Good luck. Let's go to Jolie in Oshkosh, Wisconsin.
Hi.
Hey,
Hi, Brad.
Wow, that's a lot of energy there. How are you?
Oh, I'm good. Thank you. I see you're very good here. Thanks for
thank
becoming my call. My question is, my maiden name, Vietnamese name, is on the marriage certificate on 2-year green card and social security card and DMV too. But right now, I have state court order for name change. I mean, I have the English name now. So my question is, how can I file the form I-751 for USCIS to approve?
You're going to file it with your English name, the green card in your Vietnamese name, with the court order that you've changed your name to an English name.
Can you repeat, please?
Right. Okay, so Jolie, you're from Vietnam, right? You said
exactly.
Okay, so you got your green card in your Vietnamese name. You're married, and now between the last 2 years, you have a court order from a local court that says you now have this English name, Jolie. And now you want to be able to, you don't know how to file to remove the conditions. Well, your legal name now is Jolie. Just immigration doesn't know that's your legal name yet. So you're going to fill out the I-751 application as Jolie, because that's your legal name now. One of the questions on the application is any other names used. You'll put your Vietnamese name. And then you're going to write a letter that I have legally changed my name from whatever your Vietnamese name is to Jolie. And here is the certified court order changing my name. and they are still going to know who you are because you're putting your alien registration number down. So you'll be fine.
I got you.
All right?
Thank you.
You're very
for help.
welcome.
Thank you.
Okay, good luck.
Bye-bye.
Let's go to Brian in Boston. Brian in Boston, what's up? Brian.
Okay, I'm sorry. Sorry, I'm here. Hello?
Good, how are you? What's going on?
Good, thank you for taking my call. I thank you for what you're doing for us. I did a petition for my daughter who used to live in Spain. She's a Dominican national, and due to the pandemic, we were waiting for more than a year, and now she's back in the Dominican Republic. When she was in Spain, she was not a resident there, so she had to move back to the Dominican Republic. Now we had an interview. We got an interview Monday.
Where?
And the interview letter, and the interview is in 10 days.
Where?
How can it says that it's going to be in Madrid, Spain.
Okay. Can she get back? Can she get to Madrid in 10 days?
No, she cannot get back to Madrid.
So then you have to write the U.S. Embassy in Madrid, say she has moved back to the Dominican Republic. You have to let the National Visa Center know, and they got to transfer the file to the Dominican Republic. And unfortunately, your daughter's going to wait a long time for that to happen.
Okay.
But sadly,
So
that's what's going to happen.
Okay, because when I called the National Visa Center, they were saying that your case is no longer here.
You have to speak to the embassy in Madrid and say she's moved. Send it back to the
Okay.
National Visa Center, and then it goes back to the NVC, and from the NVC to Dominican Republic.
Okay, thank you so much.
Okay. And by the way, if you didn't get your immigration questions asked and answered, you can always follow me on Instagram at RealBradBernstein. If you follow me on Instagram at RealBradBernstein, you could drop me a DM. I will try to answer your questions as best as I can. I do answer everybody who does send me a DM on at RealBradBernstein on Instagram. It sometimes takes me a few days, but I do get back to everybody. I'll either tell you you need to speak to me in person, or if it's a simple question, I could always answer it. You can also follow us at Bradshaw Live. I say this on every show. You can't handle 2 hours of us, but you can handle 30 seconds of us. Follow us on Instagram at Bradshaw Live. And of course, you can follow our fastest growing social media platform, TikTok at Bradshaw Live. If you follow us at TikTok at Bradshaw Live, you could leave your immigration question on either a comment or in the question and answers. I can't answer all of them. There's about thousands of them. If I sat 24 hours doing videos on TikTok, I wouldn't be able to get to all of them. But if you're lucky enough to get your immigration question answered by me, you will get a personalized TikTok video answering your question. Even though it's personalized, everybody's going to see it. And Yo-Yo.
Yep, you guys can follow me at Jonathan Elias TV on Instagram.
And later in the show, I'm going to be speaking with Alejandra and Temo Juarez. Alejandra was deported to Mexico in 2018 under Donald Trump's zero-tolerance policy, despite having a U.S. Marine spouse, 2 U.S. citizen children, and no criminal record. Alejandra returned to America in May of 2021 after being granted humanitarian parole. We're going to talk to her about her deportation and her next steps.
And in this VIP outtake, Feisola Akintola, the Special Initiative Manager for the Mayor's Office in Pittsburgh, gives resource tips for non-citizens getting settled in the United States.
Is watching this show right now, how do they contact their local government? What do they do?
I would say if you have access to a smartphone or Google, just literally type in your city, welcoming, use the key term immigrant refugee, and come up. Even if you don't, if you guys have a 311, I would say call a 311. Like we have a 311 number that's free to use. You call that number and you could get routed to the appropriate department. And some 311s actually are equipped with language access. Here in the city of Pittsburgh, language access. So if you speak a different language, you're able to still communicate with someone because there's an interpreter on the phone.
311 is your call to your local government for any government services. Most cities do have it. And are there any particular websites you recommend?
If you go to welcomingamerica.org and just search for ways to contact, there when you click on the About button down, it says Contact Us. Reach out to them. And again, really incredible team of folks that they could actually route you to someone in your city that might be already be a member of Welcoming America to get you connected and get you plugged in. But welcomingamerica.org, a great resource for you to have.
All right, you ready for some social media check-in? Yep. Let's do it.
All right, first one, Olusesan Shestaye Famisa, Facebook VIP member. My son was documentarily, I can never say that. Yeah, my son was documentarily qualified before he turned 21. He's been waiting for an interview date for over a year. Can he age out?
I don't know what is the category. I need to know a lot more.
Okay, Lisa Lee Frater, a VIP Facebook member. My husband will be filing for my kids who are in Jamaica. My daughter's father's name is not on her birth certificate. Will it be a problem, and can he start the filing process without their passport?
He can file for them, but if the name's not on the birth certificate, he still has to prove he's the father biologically, which would end up probably being through a blood test. And he would also have to prove, if he was never married to the mother, that they have a parent-child relationship between birth and 18. Yes, you can start without the passports. You don't only need the passports to show up for an immigrant visa interview.
Nathaniel Konu, a VIP Facebook member. What form do I file after the 3-year green card, and what period is best to file? 3 months into expiration or way before the expiration?
There is no 3-year green card. No 3-year green card.
Okay.
I think what he's saying is that he got a 2-year green card and needs to remove the conditions, and after 3 years of having a green card, he can file for his citizenship. So he's probably asking that he has removed the conditions, or has a pending application to remove the conditions, and now needs to file for citizenship after 3 years. And that answer is you can file for your citizenship 90 days before the 3-year anniversary.
Okay, can you also file for citizenship as you file for a green card renewal for 10 years?
Yes, you file for the renewal of the green card 90 days before the 2-year anniversary. You file for citizenship 90 days before the 3-year anniversary.
Okay, Blessing Nini on YouTube. What are the options of someone that applies for asylum after staying 4 years in the country?
If you have a good case, you file a mandamus, a threat of mandamus to get an interview.
Carlos Rivera on YouTube. I submitted an I-360 and I-485 back in 2018 concurrently. Recently, my VAWA case was approved, and I just did my I-485 biometric fingerprints to an ASC. What's the next steps?
Wait for an interview.
Okay, Robin on YouTube. A U.S. citizen in the Army filed for an unmarried sister in 2015. What if she gets married now while abroad? Does USCIS need to know now or later when she gets the approval?
You can let them know now.
Anika Rowell on YouTube. I applied for VAWA in March 2020, did my biometrics, and got 3 prima facie, and I'm still waiting. I'm married to a permanent resident. When should I expect to have an update?
Is she married to a permanent resident? He was the abusive spouse? Or she remarried after the fact?
Just says I applied for VAWA in March 2020.
If she was married to a resident, she should be hearing it momentarily. If she got divorced and remarried a new person while a pending VAWA, your case will be denied. Can't remarry. So I'm not sure what happened.
All right. 29 Super C on YouTube. What would you advise the Biden administration of the immigration reform if he cannot get it passed in the Senate? Can he do an executive order for the reform?
You can, but it's going to be a big lawsuit, and who knows what will happen.
Okay, CE user, can you discuss the pros and cons between asylum and refugee application?
It's not about pro and con. Asylum you do at the border or while you're physically in the U.S. Refugee you do from a third country. You can't make it to the United States, but you're a refugee in another country and you can't go back to your home country. You can't stay in the country you're in, and you want to enter the United States.
All right, and last one, Khalid Seleshi on YouTube. My uncle raised me like a dad, even though my dad is alive. Can I bring my uncle as a dad to the U.S.? I'm a U.S. citizen.
No such thing as I have a close relationship with my uncle. I want to file for him.
All right.
All right. Alejandra Juarez was deported to Mexico in 2018 under Donald Trump's zero tolerance policy, despite her husband Temo being a United States Marine, having 2 U.S. citizen children, no criminal record. Alejandra returned to America in May of 2021 after being granted humanitarian parole. Alejandra, Temo, and I spoke about her case, her deportation, and her next steps. Let's watch. After living almost 20 years in America with no criminal record, Alejandra Juarez was deported to Mexico on August 3rd, 2018, under former President Donald Trump's zero tolerance policy, despite being married to a United States Marine and having 2 American-born children. Alejandra's story made headlines, was showcased in a Netflix documentary, and was told by her youngest daughter, Estella, at the Democratic National Convention in August of 2020. On May 3rd, 2021, Alejandra returned to the United States after the Department of Homeland Security granted her a temporary reprieve known as humanitarian parole. She's now back home with her family in Central Florida, reunited with her husband, Cuauhtémoc, also known as Temo, and daughters Pamela, 20, and Estella, 12. I spoke with Alejandra in 2018 after her deportation. Alejandra and Temo are with me today to discuss Alejandra's case, her deportation, her happiness in being returned to the United States of America, and her next steps moving forward. Welcome and congratulations to you, and welcome back. 3 years too long outside of the United States. I know everybody on our show and at my office were very happy to hear the news that you returned. So that's fabulous news, and congratulations to you and your family.
Thank you, Mr. Brad. Thank you for having us today.
Thank you, Brad.
And so let's take a look back at what happened in 2018 after we had spoken and you were deported to Mexico.
As I was arriving to Mexico, I prayed to God to let me die. You know, I kept praying for my airplane to fall off, for something to happen so that I wouldn't stay in Mexico, because to me it was unthinkable.
So when we spoke in 2018, you told me how helpless you felt after you'd been deported. What kept you going for these 3 years?
My kids, and the fact that I felt like my husband deserved better. I mean, I know what I did was wrong, but it just wasn't fair. I mean, he deserved better.
The punishment that they gave you, which was permanent deportation, being separated from your spouse, who, by the way, toured Iraq and defended the United States of America and the interests of the United States of America, put his life on the line for our country. They don't look at it as punishment. Deportation is a civil offense. But any way you look at it, it is a punishment separating families. And this was permanent separation for something you did a very long time ago. Obviously, you did something wrong, but the punishment's got to fit the crime.
The mistake that I did, it was done before my daughters were born. And they were punished, my husband, which, you know, he's a Marine. And my daughters, they're U.S. citizen. And what I did, it was a long time ago. And after that, I'm a good person. I pay taxes. I mean, we work hard. We achieve the American dream. We don't harm anyone. We love this country.
Your offense was you paid a smuggler to bring you across the border from Mexico to make a better life for yourself in the United States when you were 18 years old. The smuggler dropped you somewhere near the border, told you to claim you were a U.S. citizen. You didn't know any better, I assume. And when you came across the Border Patrol, that's what you said. And you were interrogated. You didn't speak or read or write English at the time. They discovered you were not a United States citizen. And as a result of making a false claim to U.S. citizenship, listening to the Coyote when you were 18 years old, you ended up having a life sentence of never being in the U.S. This happened after 1996 when they changed the immigration laws. Prior to 1996, there was a law that if you did make a false claim to U.S. citizenship, you can get a waiver for it, based on hardship to your family. Now, if the false claim happens after 1996, You can never, ever, ever, for that one mistake, return to the United States. Certainly the punishment of separation of your family didn't fit the crime.
Exactly.
And then you made your way back to the US, but then tell us what happened after that.
Well, I came here and then I worked hard. I met my husband. We paid the taxes and I tried to do everything right. But I kept saying in my mind, you know what? I did something wrong. And till this day, I feel bad about it. I apologize. And I'm ashamed of what I did 22 years ago. This country is about second chances, right? So I thought, you know what? Maybe one day I will be in front of the judge and say, you know what? Lady, you did something wrong, but I'm looking at your 20 years of your life and you've been a good citizen. So this country is going to give you a second chance. But I didn't get that. I got, I was deported without even a chance to see a judge. I mean, all this time I've been crying. I've been asking to see a judge. I want a judge to look at my life and look at me and look at my history and say, you know what? We need to look at case by case, not just going by the immigration law, because immigration laws are broken.
They are, because there is no second chance for you. There was no second chance for you when you made that false claim to U.S. citizenship when you were 18 years old, because you listened to the coyote and that's what he told you to do. And there was no second chance for you after you returned to the United States. So there was no steps that you were able to take to make yourself legal. Temo, you're a decorated United States Marine. You're a veteran of the U.S. military, 3 tours of active duty in Iraq. If you are in active duty in Iraq, certainly as a Marine, you are putting your life in danger for the United States of America. So number one, thank you for your service. You're also a Mexican American. You're a staunch Republican. You voted for Donald Trump in 2016. And this, despite the negative rhetoric that, all Mexicans are rapists and criminals, and, all of his other rhetoric that he used on his campaign trail in 2016 against undocumented immigrants, especially Mexicans, you still voted for him. Tell us what made you vote for Donald Trump.
Well, the reason I voted for him was just I'm a conservative Republican financially, and some of the abortion issues too. That's what got me leaning to vote towards Donald Trump.
So it's the social issues. In other words, you believed he was pro-life. You believed he was going to lower your taxes. You would do better economically, but you didn't believe his rhetoric on immigrants, because if you did, I assume you wouldn't have voted for him if you really believed he would follow through and start deporting people.
That's right. Yeah, that's the reason why I didn't believe he was going to do that. Obviously, something that I regret, because, it really hurt me directly. They're my family, obviously my daughters, and obviously it was a really, really hard financial struggle, mentally, physically, towards the family once we got separated.
Now, obviously, you didn't feel very good when Alejandro got deported. Tell us about your feelings, what went through your mind, what did you do?
And all I can think is, just trying to, look out for my wife, look out for my daughters, make sure that they're okay, and gotta find a way to make it less harder than what it is somehow. I just kept telling them, and it's going to be okay. You just got to keep working. Obviously, my wife kept working what she was in Mexico and make it everything easier. She kept pushing. She kept contacting people, filing papers, interviews, and it made it happen.
Now, you wrote a letter to Donald Trump about your wife, Alejandra, about your family situation. It was a personal letter directly to him. Did you ever hear back from his office?
No, I did not. I didn't hear anything about it.
But I know it was read because it was given by my congressman to, at the time, the governor of Florida. So I know it was read.
It was read and nobody cared.
Exactly.
So you're now in Mexico. Where were you living in Mexico? How is it living in Mexico, being that you weren't there for 20 years?
Due to safety reasons, I couldn't go back to the place that I was born. So I have to go back to a place that I didn't know. I had no house. I live in a hotel until I found a place to live. So I went from having a nice, beautiful house to having a place to live, right? It was a nightmare.
And did Temo and your family come visit you often?
Yes, I was very blessed. My husband thinks that he has a good job, so he was able to go see me 2 times a year.
What did you try to do to return to the United States?
Well, to be honest with you, I knew, because I was told by 33 lawyers prior that there was nothing to do because I have a lifer. The only way to come back, it was by changing the laws. Or I was hoping for a new president to take over. And I knew the ones that a good president took over, I was going to come back. I knew I was going to come back.
So you applied for humanitarian parole.
Yeah, when President Biden won, my lawyer, she says, you know what? Have you ever thought about filing for humanitarian parole? And I was like, yeah, I thought about it, but I don't think, I mean, when you look at humanitarian parole and the requirements, they are, very hard to get approved.
Sure.
So I was like, no, it's not going to go through.
Right.
It's not going to go through. So I did it with no faith, to be honest with you, because I was like, they're just going to say you don't have enough hardship to come back. But I did it anyway.
Well, you were surprised when it got approved, I assume.
No, I wasn't surprised.
You were not surprised.
No surprise.
Why?
Because I started watching the TV that the Biden wanted to reunite families. And I said, when this administration and talking about Majorcas, here's my case, they're going to be, this is a good example. We need to reunite families. You need to reunite military families.
So your parole is temporary. When did you return to the United States?
I returned the 8th of May, yes. And it's going to be expired in a few months, in May as well.
How was your first night back in the U.S.?
Right now, it's been almost 7 months, and I kind of believe it now, but I still, I just can't believe it sometimes. Something tells me that I don't know how, but I know that I'm not leaving again. I'm not going to stay forcefully, but I know that this administration is going to do things right.
Now, your congressman, Darren Soto, he's been fighting for you. He helped petition the Biden administration to reunite you with your family. He recently introduced legislation to protect military families from deportation called the Protect Patriot Spouses Act, which also includes new language to allow eligible veteran spouses like yourself who have been removed or left in the United States to apply for immigrant visa, green cards, and return to the United States. We reached out to Congressman Soto, and he wrote a statement for your particular interview with us. And I'd like to read it if you give me a minute.
Sure.
Alejandro's departure from the United States was heartbreaking. I joined the Juarez family at the airport the day of the deportation and witnessed how devastating Trump's harsh immigration policies can be, literally tearing families apart. Since that day, I made a promise to the Juarez family to never give up fighting to reunite them. I am proud to say that our office worked with President Joe Biden's administration to secure Alejandra's humanitarian parole and help reunite her with her family earlier this year. However, our fight is not over until Alejandra is granted a permanent stay and all separated families are brought back together. I continue to push for a permanent legislative solution through legislation I've introduced, such as Alejandra's private bill and the Protect Patriot Spouses Act, and by supporting legislation that will allow Alejandra and military spouses in similar positions to permanently adjust their immigration status. My office is also working closely with the administration to ensure Alejandra's humanitarian parole is extended and ensure she is able to remain with her family. Now, he has worked extraordinarily hard for you, almost like you're part of his family. He even was at the airport when you were getting deported. How does that make you feel when you hear something like that?
I know that I'm extremely blessed, and I've been told by so many people, you have no idea, your congressman is going out of the way. I have residents, his constituents, reaching out to me and say, these have never been seen. A congressman they don't usually get that involved. You know what I mean? But the fact that, he saw my pain when I was leaving, he saw my daughter's pain. The fact that he knows my husband served this country. And most of Americans, Mr. Brown, know that this was wrong. Non-military families should be separated again. And it needs to be fixed not only for me, for all the veterans, for all the spouses that have been deported. They need to be returned to this country.
And by the way, when you say your husband served the military, you served the military too. Because if you didn't exist, your husband couldn't go to Iraq to represent the United States, to put his life on the line, because he would have nobody to watch his children and take care of his family. You gave him the ability to go serve. Without you, that wouldn't happen.
Exactly.
All right, so tomorrow we're going to hear the second half of my interview with Alejandra and Temo and how her story ended up being showcased in the Democratic National Convention. All right. We're ready for 9 more immigration questions in 50 seconds.
Let's do it.
All right, let's do it. All right, put 50 seconds on the clock. Jonathan has his 9 questions.
Yep.
Ian's good. Let's do it.
Can a pending change of status from B2 to F1 get a driver's license?
Yes.
When will F2B start processing?
When will what?
F2Bs start
It's always processing.
I'm a F1 son of U.S. citizen with a 2016 PD. Can I put my son who's turning 20 in May as a derivative child?
You can try. Maybe it's under Child Status Protection Act.
Can a U.S. citizen who lives overseas sponsor their family?
Of course.
How long should a marriage visa wait for an interview before filing a mandamus?
At least a year.
If a green card expired in January, can I get a new one now?
Of course.
Can I use my father's company's bank account as proof of funds for an F1?
Yes.
On a student visa, can I marry a U.S. citizen?
Yes.
If I get a 10-year green card, can I file for undocumented parents?
No, citizen you have to file. You have to be a citizen. You blew me up anyway, and I got it right.
We got it right.
We got it right, and I blow up anyway.
That was 9.
Damn.
No, that's not a damn. That was 9.
But I'm scorched.
Oh,
now he says I won.
We did it.
You can't know what was that. You already blew me up. That's a damn. Thank you, Carol. All right, comments of the day.
All right, our first comment of the day. Jamie Barra saying, making dinner for my fiance and my baby boy for the first time while listening to Brad and Yo-Yo. Best way to end my day.
All right.
I like that.
Good food, the loves of your life, and
entertainment. Yeah.
How about your squad?
See, we don't really think about how many people invite us into their homes.
Yeah,
you know?
but I didn't hear him saying I'm making food for Brad and Yo-Yo too.
And I'm actually starving right now.
I'm a little hungry too. All right, now that I think about it.
Right,
I've been thought about it. But that's very nice comment.
All right, yes. All right, next comment of the day. Thefidan Bala saying, God bless your hard work to help people of all kinds in the USA.
Thank you very much. We try.
Yes.
All right,
and last comment of the day.
What?
Yeah, Cinderella saying, Uncle Brad, I did my citizenship interview today and I passed. I changed my name, including my signature. Interviewer said they will send it to the judge for processing. Whoa, how long will it take to do the oath ceremony? Thank you, Brad. I followed all your instructions. God bless you and your family.
So a comment of the day and
with
they got
a
a
question. They got a question in it.
That's the first
I know,
time.
that's what I was like, wait.
That's the first time I ever heard a comment of the day with a question.
Yeah.
Hopefully 90 days or less, and congratulations.
Congratulations.
All right, so tomorrow's Wacky World Thursday. Yo-Yo's got to eat. We'll see you tomorrow. Yes. So, Sam, as part of the production, we have to say this disclaimer at the end of the show. Do you mind reading it for me?
Okay, but you know, Brad, I have to do everything around here.
Forget it. I'll do it. The proceeding was information only and not specific legal advice. Consult an attorney about your individual situation. Prior successful results do not guarantee a similar outcome in the future. To make an appointment with the Spar and Bernstein Law Firm, located at 225 Broadway in New York City, call 1-800-529-5465. That's 1-800-529-5465. Easy to remember, 1-800-LAW-LINK. That's 1-800-LAWLINK. Once again, make a call to 1-800-529-5465. And of course, link up with the law offices of Spar and Bernstein, located at 225 Broadway on the 5th floor. If I were you out there, make the call, make the link, make the connection, make it Spar and Bernstein. 1-800-LAWLINK. That's 1-800-529-5465. And now, conveniently located in Hartford, Connecticut on 1 Congress Street. Visit us in Connecticut or in New York at 225 Broadway. That's 1-800-529-5465. 1-800-LAW-LINK. 1-800-529-5465.
What are you doing?